Hey guys, Jake here, and welcome back to the F125 Cadillac Road to Glory as we come towards the finale of Season 1. And last time out in Baku, we were absolutely shafted, 2 seconds a lap slower in the wet, as well as a red flag as soon as we made our first pit stop. Absolute shambles, and in the end we got points, but I don't know how. But today, we have got an American Grand Prix, this time Texas, COTA. I don't know what I'm going to be referring it as in this episode. I'll probably go from COTA to Texas to the United States every single 2 seconds. But we are starting off the COTA. The COTA Grand Prix, the Texas Grand Prix makes more sense. We're starting off here in COTA with our practice session going quite well. And us getting things done, which is very, very handy. Very, very handy indeed. We got most of the stuff done just there, and we're going to retire from the session. And luckily, there doesn't seem to be any wet weather this weekend, so we should have a clear run and a clear chance of doing well. But it's not about practice section. We are going to be driving on 102 AI this week instead of 105 because Texas is not a track that I do very often. So, yeah, it's not one that I do very often. I didn't do it at all in the last game. But to be fair, it's a track I quite enjoy. And after this episode, I enjoy driving it. And regardless of the result, I enjoy driving it. It means it's going to stay. And next season, we are doing all 24 races, but we'll simulate some and stuff like that. So it should be quite a fun season next season. I'm actually really looking forward to it. But here in our first sprint quali run, we run very wide right there. And that is going to cost us quite a bit of time. It's not a very clean final sector, but overall it was a pretty solid lap. Again, going wide, but we're on those mediums. It really doesn't matter. And up to the line we go. It is going to be a 1:34 flat. But then we go and do a second lap on the same set of medium tyres with very low fuel. We did fuel up for 2 laps though, so we are going to be able to make it and make it back. And here we come through the final sector where we did lose a lot of time before. Only 2 tenths up, but coming in towards this final sector now. Already gained a 10th. And then we get a better exit there. Picks us up some more time. Coming into this corner where we lost a lot of time before, just scrubbing off a bit of speed and picking up the power nice and early and not running wide, gains us a few temps. Cut a corner there, whoops, and up towards the final few corners we go. Absolutely launch it through there, gain a bit of time, keep it on track, and we're already 7 temps up. And that lap time was very, very good. It gave us enough to go only 8 temps off pole on a different set of tyres, which is very, very nice indeed. So a 33.1 is what we're trying to beat. Let's see what we can do on the softs. So, turn 1, it's not too bad. We didn't quite cut the apex like I would normally try to do, but it's not going to stop us from gaining time. The first corner is very, very hard to nail. You'll nail it once in a weekend, and that's about it. You just got to hope it's your Q3 lap. But it's a very, very solid first sector. We do take this first sector differently to others because of the way I drive, and this is the way we take it. No, we didn't actually exceed any track limits, picked up some nice exits, and it's a very good first sector. Actually a purple first sector, which is very, very nice indeed. And yeah, this corner we gain quite a bit of time on normally. We do cut it a little bit, but you can do that, and therefore we are able to pick up the power earlier and get a better exit as well. And then through to the final sector we come into the tricky part of the track. We need to pick up power nice and early here, and we just about do. Maybe a bit more time would have been available there on a second run, but this is the only run we've got on the soft compound of tyre. And we set a 33.1 last time out, and coming round the final few corners to finish sprint qualifying, we are going to set a 1:32.7, almost 1:32.8. So we only gained 3 temps, so I think there may have been more time in it, but it gets us P2, which is absolutely fantastic, and I'm not going to complain about that whatsoever. I thought it was quite a nice lap on board. I think with another run we would have definitely got pole. It was only 2 temps, but let's get into the sprint race.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, edging out Jarno Opmeer, who'll start from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Piastri, Leclerc, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Colapinto, Antonelli, Sainz, Gasly, and Jack Doohan, Stroll, Verstappen, George Russell, and Albon, Fernando Alonso, and alongside me in the commentary box today, former
Right then, guys, for the sprint, it's going to be a very simple strategy. I had maybe a feeling that people are going to go on softs, but it is a high tyre deg circuit, and therefore absolutely everyone is on the medium compound of tyre. But we are starting on the front row, which is very, very nice indeed. With everyone starting on mediums, I'm not confident of beating Norris off the start, nor sticking with him. Maybe we can keep P2. I think that would be a very positive result for the weekend. So let's see what we can do. We need to see who's got the pace. Currently in quali, it's a McLaren. If it wasn't for me, it would be a McLaren 1-2, Ferrari 3-4. So McLaren versus Ferrari with me sandwiched in the middle is the recipe of the day. And let's not let it turn into a sex scene, boys, because if we are getting absolutely pounded by these Ferraris and McLarens, it's going to be a long day. But let's see what we can do. I know it's only a sprint race and the points aren't really that good, but points are points. And in a championship as close as this, by that I mean we're miles clear of the people behind us, miles far away from the people ahead of us, it's very important to get points, but more for the development of the team. And it's 5 red lights and away we go. And obviously it's an absolutely shocking start. And pastry is around our outside, and there's also someone up the inside, so we've got to go a bit deep, squeeze Piastri out. Whoever that was up the inside, Charles Leclerc, it was him, and we kind of ignore the bloke and keep P2. But we are now 9 tenths behind Lando Norris already, and we're not even through the first sector and cutting every single corner we can possibly think of, because why on earth not? Why on earth wouldn't you cut every single corner if you're not on strict corner cutting rules? That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it's actually not too bad of a first sector. I mean, we lose 2 tenths in that one corner alone, but other than that, it's actually not too bad. Through the final sector, though, on lap 2 going on to lap 3, we are setting personal best lap time, and we are right on the back of Lando Norris. Somehow didn't get DRS, which is an absolute Mickey take, and it's actually going to cost us. If we'd got DRS on that straight, I reckon we would have kept it. But we're now out of DRS firmly, and Norris is trying to run away in this race. We used our ERS to try and catch him, and now we don't have anything to defend the oncoming Ferrari barrage of Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. But Hamilton's a few seconds down the road, but Leclerc comes flying around our outside. We're going to let him through as well, just to see if we can stick with him and catch back up to Lando. It's probably going to be the play. And lap 6 of 10, that is exactly what's going to happen, as now we've got Leclerc and Norris fighting ahead, with Hamilton still the same amount of distance behind. So we've kept the same pace, we've kept away from Hamilton, and it looks like we're securing ourselves a P3 in this race. Potentially a P1 if these two fight enough and we can slip through and run away, but I don't know how likely that is to happen. And in fact, only a lap later, those two have ran away so much that we just about keep DRS, but those two are right up each other's chuff in the case of Leclerc being right on Norris's chuff, and potentially going to go for a move here on lap 7 of the Grand Prix. And we've got a front row seat for the popcorn and the fireworks for the sprint race lead. Who's going to win the sprint race? Here comes Charles Leclerc around the outside, and he gets to move done on Lando. Lando backs out, and Leclerc is up into the lead of the Texas Grand Prix. And by the time we get round to lap 10, those two are on the main straight together again. We've lost DRS, and Hamilton has gained a lot of lap time on us. Hamilton's clearly got some pace. Piastri we've managed to keep a similar gap to, but Hamilton's got pace. I mean, those Ferraris look scarily quick, and it actually looks as if it's going to be Charles Leclerc to win this race as he keeps the lead from Norris. We defend Lewis Hamilton, forcing him to the outside and squeezing him. As we come around the final corners, those two boys almost had a ding-dong battle for the final sector, but Leclerc shuts the door and wins the sprint race. We finish on the podium in P3, but there's not too much to celebrate about. There's not any cutscene or anything, so let's keep talking. And it's not a bad result, to be fair. I will absolutely take it, of course. I'm not going to complain at a P3 ever. It's always a positive result to get on the podium. We start at P2. We always know we've got better quali pace and race pace, so we will take only losing 1 position in this one. And to be fair, we didn't finish far off the lead. We didn't lose more than a second to the leaders. So into normal quali we go. Setting our first lap of quali. I think we set a 32.7 in the sprint quali. We set a 33.9. That's 1.2 seconds off our best in qualifying in the sprint. And we thought we had a couple tenths on that lap as well. We thought we could have set a 32.5. So let's see if we can actually do that. As through the first sector we come on this lap, again, we could have been of a corner. I mean, it's minor. It hardly makes you any time. But we're just making up a decent amount of time in this first sector. We need to nail this part of the lap, though. And we absolutely do. We send it over that corner and gain a couple tenths purely from that corner alone. And we're now almost, well, we are 3.5 tenths up on our previous best lap time. And as we come onto the main straight, we are now 4.5 to 5 tenths up as we get a really good exit and now activate the DRS and use a bit of ERS to, I mean, I know we didn't use ERS, but we're saving it for the end of the lap, and that is exactly what we did. We're going to have ERS for the end of this lap. By the time we come around the final corner, we are a grand staggering 9 tenths up on our previous best lap time. 9.5 tenths, it's not bad at all. So let's see how this final quali run goes. My oh my, what a lap that is. 1.3 seconds. Surely it's third. I don't know how that wasn't pole. What a lap that was. I mean, sitting on board and watching that lap back, I'm really happy with that lap. That is a superb lap, and it's still 2 tenths off pole, with the Ferraris, of course, 1 and 2. I mean, unreal pace on the Ferraris. I mean, maybe there's another 2 tenths in there in a certain corner or two, but that felt like such a nicely put together lap, so I'm super proud of it. So let's get into the race, where the Ferraris are probably going to run away from me.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Jarno Opmeer lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Piastri, Sainz, Alex Albon, and Fernando Alonso, Colapinto, Ocon, Doohan, and Charles Leclerc, Stroll, Tsunoda, Lando Norris, and Russell, Verstappen, Hülkenberg, Pierre Gasly, and Andrea Kimi Antonelli, Bortoletto, Hadjar, Lawson, and Ollie Behrman. And joining me in the commentary box is...
Au contraire! With the grid penalty, we are starting on the front row again, behind Sir Lewis Hamilton. A simple one-stop, medium to hards. Let's see what we can do. We're starting on the front row, but this time next to the 7-time world champion Sir Lewis Hamilton. And Leclerc is down the order with a grid penalty. Meant to have started on pole, starting P10. Let's see how long it takes him to catch us, because clearly the Ferraris are unreal. So, let's see what the strategy's like as well. I know I just looked, but I actually didn't look properly on my screen. So, everyone's on mediums. Sheep, sheep, sheep. Bah, bah. We're all sheep, and we're all following each other. So let's just see who's got the best raw pace. Probably Ferrari right now, because they have won like the past 3 races, it feels like, and they are on an absolute stonker roll in this F125 season. Cadillac, though, are an emerging team. I mean, I know they have the quickest car, but they don't have the quickest drivers, because apparently I'm a bit rubbish. So let's just see how this goes. This should be a really interesting race. Let's get a better start than we did last time. Last time, Pastry just sailed past us. And I know it was his teammate on pole. Maybe there's a bit of teamwork there. Maybe he gave him a substitute or something. I don't know. But it was a really good start from Piastri. And I think he's the one behind us again, with Norris a bit further down the order. So let's see how this goes. It's the Texas Grand Prix, the main Grand Prix, where all the points and the money are earned. And we do have Piastri behind us. Both Williams in the top 5. And it's lights out. And away we go. And we get a better start than Hamilton this time. But he comes and covers us off quite quickly. And Piastri goes sailing around the outside again. When will this guy know when to leave me alone? But we just launch it down the inside of Lewis Hamilton. And Piastri's still there. But we stay behind Hamilton. And we are side by side with Piastri. We are going to eventually hopefully squeeze him out. And we do. And we are now still the way we started with 1-2. But Colapinto's up into P5. My teammate did very well in quali, and he's already up into P5 in this one. Lovely stuff from Franco, having a nice start there. And we are sticking here with Lewis Hamilton, which is always a good sign. So let's see if we can stick with Hamilton by the time we get to the next highlight. Probably not, because that never normally happens. By the time we cut to the next clip, I'll probably be 2.6 seconds behind him and 2 laps later. Oh no! We did take a track limit warning, but we are right behind Lewis Hamilton, and it is DRS, which isn't bad. For some reason, we didn't get DRS, but we do set a fastest lap of the Grand Prix, which doesn't count because I cut the corner, but oh well. And the winner, well, actually, no. The man who started on pole for the sprint is out of the Grand Prix, Lando Norris. So we'll never know how good his pace was. And by the time we get to lap 11, we've fallen off from Lewis Hamilton by about 5 seconds. Piastri started catching us, and we decided, you know what, my tyre wear's too bad. Let's just come in. Yeah, basically, Hamilton drove in those 10 laps. Hamilton just drove off. He was consistently 3/10 a lap quicker. Just drove off down the road. Piastri was about 2 seconds behind us, caught us, and then I boxed by the time before he could overtake us. And now we're on hards. So we're going for a bit of an undercut. Let's see what damage we can do as we come out in P12. No, P11, but almost P12. Ocon's just behind us. But Doohan's just ahead of us, and we get straight past Jack Doohan and straight back up into the points, which is very nice and dandy indeed. So, a few laps later, a few more cars decide to pit, and the only ones that stay out include, well, I mean, my teammates in, and others, and it leaves Tsunoda out, Sainz out, and us now chasing down Yuki Tsunoda, which by the time he comes in and pits, we're right up his chuff. And in fact, he was so slow in the final sector that I think he denies us a fastest lap, but I'm not 100% sure. No, we get our personal best, but we don't get the fastest lap. And that was on lap 15 of 28, but these hards can do decent pace for a long time. We get a purple first sector, and yeah, we're now chasing down Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton was 5 seconds up the road from me when we boxed. We've made 2.5 seconds up on the guy, and we're currently on better pace than him, and now pulling away from Piastri, who we are now 7 seconds ahead of in this Grand Prix. We're looking secure for P2, and we are looking to be chasing down P1, the great Sir Lewis Hamilton. And we're also on for a fastest lap of the Grand Prix, as here we come through the final few corners. Can we secure this fastest lap? Bang. I mean, a bit wide, but it'll do. We just need a nice exit here, and we should have the fastest lap of the Grand Prix thus far. And we do. Snatching off Lewis Hamilton with a 35.6. Lovely jubbly. But I was like, Alonso's P4. It's a bit weird. And he's on mediums. Ah, he's doing a 2-stop. That's his race ruined. But then I was also wondering, where's my teammate? And I have no idea. The guy's just fallen off a cliff, died, got stuck in traffic. So, yeah. Don't ask me what happened to Franco. But, nothing else really happened. I mean, we were 7 seconds ahead of Piastri 10 laps ago. We're now 7.8 seconds ahead of Piastri. And we were 2 seconds behind Hamilton 10 laps ago. We're now 10.5 seconds behind Hamilton. And Leclerc's recovered all the way to P4. The Ferrari pace is ridiculous. Somebody check their car for illegal flexi wings right now, because this is not on. Ferrari are too OP. But luckily, Leclerc had a grid penalty, and we get a deserved P2. We were most certainly the third quickest car on track today after the 2 Ferraris, and we thoroughly deserve this P2. So let's let the celebration sink in, and we will take. Oh, we'll take P2.
Yes, mate, I'll take that. Well done. We're really happy with the podium down here, so well done. Yes.
And extending his already record-breaking winning record, it's Lewis Hamilton to the line for victory.
There was never a moment of doubt today. You could tell that they completely had it under control, and that is a sign of greatness.
From lights out to the checkered flag, this is what they're racing for. It's trip to the podium. And back on the top spots that he's taken so often in the past. So well done to Lewis Hamilton. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action.
So yeah, overall lads, a quite solid weekend. P3 in the sprint, P2 in quali, P2 in quali, P2 in the race, bish bash bosh, some consistent pace in the dry, some good pace in the dry, obviously other than the illegal Ferrari car. And yeah, a very, very good weekend. So now, let's get into some boring admin stuff, I suppose. After, obviously, we check, hopefully, the standings. But, yeah, we did get fastest lap as well. Standings are looking good. Otmir almost now up to Colapinto with Piastri sandwiched between us. Norris still leading the way from Leclerc, who is now coming for his Ferrari at OP. Ferrari have now overtaken in the Constructors by a mile. And McLaren at P2 because Piastri can't pull his weight. Currently fighting us two Cadillacs. Colapinto didn't even get points in the race. What the hell happened to Colapinto? The guy was P5 at the first pit stops. What on earth happened to him? I don't know, but he fell off a cliff and he's about to get sacked. So yeah, fun episode. We got some good points. Colapinto did absolutely diddly squat. Man decided, yeah, you know, I'm going to start amazing and then fall off a cliff, like the Ferrari's tyres. And that's what happened. So yeah, and now Ferrari and McLaren have overtaken us in development, which probably means that we are now nowhere in that race winning category. Until we come to a track where I'm really overpowered, like Qatar, wink, 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 or like Las Vegas, which isn't even on the calendar. But then there's also a regulation change, which is very, very interesting because I didn't want a regulation change, and we have one, and now I don't know how it works this year, so it's going to be very, very hard to get all these things back on, and therefore we're probably going to lose some parts, and going to get slower, and probably be a mid-table team again. So, here's to next season, lads. Cheers, and yeah. Very, very exciting, but also exciting for next episode, where we are going to travel to Mexico. We are taking new grid components for both Jarno Otmir and for Franco Colapinto, as the components are just too worn. We have, I think, 4 races left. We have this one, we have, we had this one, and then we've got Mexico, Brazil, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi. So we have 4 more races coming up. I think we can make these engines last Mexico and Brazil, but then we might have to take a grid penalty in Qatar, for example, or we are going to have to take a grid penalty for Abu Dhabi, because we probably don't have the components to last us. So we're going to have to work on our durability upgrades as well, unfortunately. But first, we've got to worry about these regulation changes, because if we can have a quick car, we can deal with the parts. We can just come back through the grid again. But yeah, we need to really focus on our durability. This year, it's a lot more important than it has been in recent years, so we'll have to do something about it. And we've got high prospects for next season, so we're going to have to fulfill them. And it's just the base quota, really. So I hope you have really enjoyed this episode, because I really think it's been a good one. We had some really good action, kind of, and we've had some good quali laps, and we've got some exciting news for the future with regulation changes and whatnot. So, yeah, what else can you really ask for? What else can you really ask for? I'll see you all next time in Mexico. Like, subscribe, and all that jazz, and I wish you all the best of evenings.